what is the likelihood McDermott is gone if the Bills get embarrassed again in the playoffs? Because year after year, his defenses, whether or not they've been top units in the regular season, have fallen on their face to help Josh Allen in the playoffs.
If it was up to me, he would have been gone after 13 seconds. Like, I would have had him out of here. The issue with Sean McDermott, and this is Bill specific, is we have a generational quarterback. We have a quarterback who is top 3 in the league at any given time. And at the height of his powers, when he's playing his best, is the best quarterback in the league in terms of talent. Okay? Too many times when you have a statistic that in the playoffs, Josh Allen has left the field with the lead or the game tied, meaning coaching and defense is what's losing in these playoffs, and you're supposed to be the coaching genius, the coaching guru, and it's been several years now, you have hit your ceiling to me. And teams like that, and then when you compound that with a general manager who, unlike Howie Roseman, is trying to hedge his bets and trying to outthink himself and hold on to draft picks. And, this whole notion that we tried to trade for Jalen Waddle and Quinnen Williams, 2 division opponents, best players, that's a cop-out. The Jets and the Dolphins are never going to trade players to the Bills, period. And part of me doesn't even believe that story. That is something that was put out there so Brandon Beane could justify that he tried to do something at the trade deadline. That, to me, that is a cop-out. That doesn't even make sense. Why would you try to do that, knowing that they're not going to trade with you? These teams don't like you. This is not the Browns and Bengals situation with Joe Flacco. This is the Jets and the Dolphins are not trading with you. And we are wasting the talent, and we're going backwards. Sean McDermott is the worst situational football coach in the NFL. He cannot coach situational football. Their strategy every week is Josh Allen save me, and I'm tired of it. Josh Allen is tired of it. Look at his body language. It's to me, and this team is, I don't care what the record is. Yes, it's 6-3. That's what the Bills fans are telling me in my comment. Relax, it's a bad game. It's not a bad game. I'm not reacting to one bad game. I've seen this story before. We've done that. I don't need to believe. I've believed for the last 7 years when McDermott was here. I'm done believing now. It's over. I don't want to believe anymore because this is not only the worst team. And what do you follow up with? You follow up with Mecole Hardman. Is that the guy? We need a wide receiver 1. We don't need a 6th wide receiver 3. I don't understand the thought process. If in the perfect world, Brian Daboll got fired, he would be Wednesday morning. He'd be at One Bills Drive as a offensive assistant advisor, and hopefully taking over Joe Brady's job when Joe Brady goes and coaches the whoever next year. And then I would love John Gruden or Robert Saleh. Since 13 seconds, we could have had Brian Flores. We could have had we could have had Mike Vrabel. I screamed for Mike Vrabel when Tennessee let him go and said, yo, Sean McDermott sucks. And Vrabel, I'm a Sixers fan, obviously. Sean McDermott reminds me of Brett Brown when the Sixers were tanking. Brett Brown wasn't brought in to coach that team to a championship. He was brought in to build culture and take a bunch of bum players and make them care and build a culture that a franchise player that you draft can be fostered and take over the team. He, like Sean McDermott, won 50-plus games every year, was one of the best teams in the East, and consistently made the playoffs, but always fell apart in the playoffs, just like Sean McDermott, because guess what? He is not a playoff winning coach. He's a franchise building coach. The franchise is built now. It's time for you to move on, and it's time for us to get a coach that knows what winning's like. And we need somebody who's not scared to hold players accountable, not scared to just hold players out on the injury report and play. I call him save a stroke Sean. You have a quarterback who is 6'7", and on 4th and 1 in your territory, you're kicking field goals or you're punting instead of running a QB sneak. The best red zone threat you have is Josh Allen. Run him. And it's frustrating to see that he's still not making these adjustments for one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Sorry that was so long-winded.
No, I feel the exact same way, Jerm. And year after year, the Bills show up to the playoffs. McDermott shows up to the playoffs, and he gets out-coached. Andy Reid, from top to bottom, outclasses him. And it's honestly like embarrassing to watch, but I can't imagine how Andy Reid feels when he shows up to the playoffs. I imagine he's licking his chops, looking at McDermott, saying, we do this year after year. And when push comes to shove, we dominate McDermott every single year. What elite team with an MVP quarterback gets blown out by a 2-win Dolphins team?
Yeah.
Never.
Never. It never happens.
Never. Like,
And then
the Ravens.
And then you have the Patriots literally saying post-game, we're not worried about Buffalo. It's insane. It's insane.
I understand, like, if you get blown out and you're an elite team, like the Ravens this year, I'm pretty sure they got spanked by the Lions pretty bad. It's like, okay, the Lions are a pretty good team this year. They're very talented. I have never witnessed a good team get blown out like that by a 2-win Dolphins team. I was so embarrassed to. I think we had how many first downs in the first? It was so embarrassing. I feel like it's over for the Bills. I'm starting to really lose hope because Josh Allen has been all we can work with. Like, it's been Josh Allen or nothing for years. And I know we had Stephon Diggs, but it's really been always on Josh Allen. First of all, we refuse to use James Cook on third down, which really frustrates me. It is so baffling to me that we do not use James Cook on third down. We refuse to use him for whatever reason. We paid him $12 million to sit on the bench when it actually matters, when we need points, when we need a conversion. We don't make the trade deadline useful. We watch the trade deadline come and go without doing anything. We don't draft particularly well. Our defense is always in question, and we don't really fix it. Like, Joey Bosa is awesome, but can we get somebody that's not 30, 33 years? I don't know how old Joey Bosa is, but like, I want a game changer. I want to move like Howie, and this is why I loved what the Colts did with Sauce Gardner. They gave up a boatload. The 2 first-round picks, it's a lot, but at least the GM was like, hey, we're going all in. We're going to sell out because we believe in our guys. We think that we can make it there this year. I just haven't seen that from Buffalo. And I feel like all hope is lost, Jerm. I'll leave it on you to finish things off before you head out here. But for me, I just feel like I've lost hope week after week. And it's not about being 6-3 and having a bad loss. Like, there are weaknesses I've pointed out since the beginning of last year that people are just starting to realize. Like these have been problems that Josh Allen miraculously has masked for years and years and years.
Yeah, I have this saying, I don't expect the Bills to go undefeated. I don't mind taking a loss. I don't mind losing. I care about how we lose. We shouldn't be losing to this Miami team because how we play against bad teams, how can we expect to play well against good teams? And they'll say, well, Jerm, we just beat Kansas City. That's the problem. We play down to the level of our competition. If our competition's great, we can win that game. We'll play great. That's not what elite teams do. The Colts are elite. They beat the brakes off bad teams. The Detroit Lions beat the brakes off bad teams. And yes, you'll get those random games. Yes, Tom Brady, his record against the Miami Dolphins isn't great all those years. Like sometimes you just get those teams, you run into those teams that kind of have your number. I get it. Division game, blah, blah, blah. Again, this isn't about reacting to one Miami Dolphins game in week 10 of the NFL. This is a microcosm of all of the issues that the Buffalo Bills have had on top of the inactivity, knowing we had these problems going into the trade deadline, not addressing them, and then a GM who gave us a half-ass excuse or attempt saying you can't make people trade with you. Well, no shit. If you're only doing it within the division, there's plenty of you're telling me you couldn't pick up the phone and offer an extra pick for Rashid Shaheed? Like, you couldn't offer anything? You keep bringing in these injury-prone players. I call us the brittle Bills. Every draft pick you have is either getting hurt. Landon Jackson hasn't played all year. You drafted him, and now he tore his MCL and his PCL. He's out he's going to be out for the season. Ed Oliver ripped his bicep. He's talking about he's going to be back at the end of the month. Let's see how long that lasts. And then you lose Hoyt, who you brought in, and he got suspended for 6 games. Like, I'm seriously questioning your evaluation skills and your talent evaluation, your strength and conditioning coach, because our players are always injured. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And unfortunately, I think that the owner is so in love with Brandon Beane and Brandon Beane is so in love with Sean McDermott that I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters what happens in the playoffs. I think this team and this front office and the people who own the team are dug in and are dedicated to making this work. And if Josh Allen needs to leave, I would rather Josh Allen leave Buffalo and win a title with somebody else than stick here and become Phillip Rivers and not win here at all. Because it's criminal what and Sean McDermott doesn't deserve to have a Super Bowl because he's been riding Josh Allen's coattails this whole time, and he does not deserve to win a Super Bowl on the back of Josh Allen, considering that his incompetence is the reason why. You talked about Nick Sirianni a little bit earlier. Listen, man, the same credit that everybody likes to give Jalen Hurts about being a winner, Nick Sirianni's been there a couple seasons. He's been to the playoffs all 4 seasons. He's been to the Super Bowl twice. He's won the Super Bowl. If you want to talk about guys who just win, he's a leader of men. Those guys, he embodies Philly perfectly. He doesn't care what people think. He's in people's faces. He's reckless. He's defiant. All the stuff that Philly people say that they like, but all of a sudden, every time he loses to Tampa Bay in Week 5 every season, they want him fired. It's unbelievable. But if Nick Sirianni was the coach of the Bills, we'd be in the Super Bowl. If we had a Dan Campbell, if we had a Mike Vrabel, if we had some of these guys that are just fire, brimstone, and not somebody who's clapping in a motivational speaker. We don't need a camp counselor as coach. We need a fiery head coach to push these guys to the absolute limit. And Sean McDermott has proven time and time again he's just not that guy.